Okay, so good morning. Good morning. You need Google for everything. Good morning, everyone. And it is 31st December 2015. And in some time from now, we are all going to enter 2016. Okay. And I'm sure that everybody has their own personal resolution. With that resolution, I hope you create a lot of revolution and whatnot, right? But let us try to track what are those big changes for us, that is C# developers, Visual Studio developers, ASP.NET, MVC guys. What are those big changes that is happening in Microsoft? First thing, let us admit that we are developers, we are humans, we work in a company, we work for a salary, we slog day and night. And then we are said, okay, now we should know what is happening in SharePoint, what is happening in CRM, what is happening in WCF, ASP.NET, MVC. Impossible. It is impossible that you can go and track each and every product of Microsoft. And here's my small secret, the way I do it. What I do is that I just track the .NET framework. Because what my belief is that all of these products, WCF, WPF, ASP.NET, MVC, Web API, all of these guys are actually built on .NET, right? .NET is that framework on which they are built. So what I do is that I track the .NET framework very closely. For example, I'll see you recently, previous version in .NET 4.5. I know it's 4.6 actually, but let me talk about 4.5 example. In 4.5 we had this async await keyword. So once you know in .NET framework how to use async await, it is very easy to see that how it is used in Web API, it's used in MVC, it is used in ASP.NET, and etc. Right? So what I do is that I track the .NET framework, because what my belief is that if .NET framework sneezes, then all of these products at the top will get pneumonia, right? Right, so what we will do is, in this video we will track what has changed in .NET framework. And why I'm talking about the changes, because this change is a big one. This change is a great change, and I will say that this change is a revolution for all the .NET, the C#, the VB.NET guys, the MVC guys, the ASP.NET guys. After seeing this video you will feel proud that you are a .NET developer. So that kind of a big change is happening in .NET framework. So let us try to understand that what has changed in 2015 for .NET framework, and what is that for us in the coming years for .NET framework. So till now we guys are all acquainted with 1.0, 1.1, blah blah blah, 3.0, 3.5, blah blah blah, and then 4.5 and 4.6, right? The recent version which has come out is .NET 5.0. And also you can add this word core over that. So that core is very important. So if you just go and search the recent version of .NET, that is .NET Core, right? .NET Core. So if you go and see this .NET Core, you come out here to the first link, which is of GitHub. So this GitHub is a repository. It's an online repository for open source projects. So if you have an open source project, you can go and check in, and people can downloading the code, and they can start seeing what you have built. So the first thing is your .NET framework is open source. So that was already announced some years back. So it is not a new thing. But the biggest thing is our .NET framework is now cross-platform. So that is the biggest thing. Let me just search for .NET Core FX. Yeah, here it is, Core FX. Okay. So if you see our foundation libraries, what we had of .NET can now run on Linux, Unix, and definitely on Windows, right? So you can see here Ubuntu is nothing but it is one of the flavors of Linux actually. Again, CentOS and OpenSUSE are again one of the flavors of Linux. OS X is again a graphical a graphical operating system for Unix. So it is again using the Unix, but it is more graphical. So you can see that we are now supporting so many versions of Linux and also of Windows. So in other words, the biggest news for you guys out there is that .NET Core, or I'll say our .NET framework, our old favorite .NET framework, can now run on Linux, can now run on Unix, and can now run on Windows. So that is the biggest news what is there out in 2015. Now if your super brain has started thinking that, okay, So if .NET Core is open source, it can run on any platform. So does it mean that my WCF, my WPF, my Windows Workflow, my ASP.NET, my Web API, so does it mean that all of my core products, will they also run cross-platform or not? First thing, one thing at a time. Okay, so they've taken the first step, and I really like it. They've taken the first step of taking .NET into multiple operating system, right? And they have started with ASP.NET first, because remember that ASP.NET is our biggest share of the market. So most of you guys, I'm sure that you're working mostly with ASP.NET. So they have started with the first product which is actually going to use .NET Core is ASP.NET. So that's what that ASP.NET 5.0 is. ASP.NET 5.0 uses .NET Core 5.0, and on the top of it, in ASP.NET 5.0 you can use MVC6 as an architecture to build things. So remember, MVC6 and ASP.NET 5.0 actually use .NET Core. Now remember, whenever I say .NET Core, .NET FX, .NET 5.0, right? What I mean with all these vocabularies is that this is that .NET which can run cross-platform, what you see on the UI here. And whenever I say .NET 4.6, 4.5, 4.0, your old .NET, they will only run inside Windows. So the first news for you guys is that .NET can run cross-platform, and we have ASP.NET 5.0 and MVC6. They use .NET Core, so in turn, what it means is that they will also run cross-platform. So you can create ASP.NET application and host on Linux. You can create ASP.NET application and you can host on Unix. Okay. So the first big news is that your .NET framework is cross-platform. But now one thing which will actually click into your mind is that the build and the run process would be very complex, because if you say that you are going to have so many frameworks out there, so you have .NET 1.0, 1.1, 4.6, .NET Core 5.0, then you have Core 5.0 for Linux, and then you have for Ubuntu, and you have for this and that, right? So that means, when I say that I want to build things, when I say I write a C# program and I say I want to build things, I need some way to go and say that, okay, now point towards .NET Core 5.0, now point towards .NET Core 4.5 and build the program. So my build process is complex. At the same time, my run process is also complex. My execution of .NET program is also complex. So that's why they are giving you two things. One is called as the DNU and the other one is called as the DNX. So both of these DNU and DNX are utilities. So DNU stands for .NET Utilities, and DNX stands for .NET Execution Runtime. So basically, by using both of these utilities, you can actually manage these multiple versions. So here's a small demo. So what I've done is, here's my small C# program I've created using Notepad. So what we'll do is, it's a very simple program. So we'll say here console.writeLine. I hope I'm typing properly. Happy New Year 2016, and welcome .NET Core, right, and DNX and everyone, right? So let us welcome them, and I'll say here console.read. I hope so that this all things work. So I have a very simple C# program here, which is saying, Happy New Year 2016. It is welcoming .NET Core, and it is a simple console.write actually. So that is the first thing. The second thing is we need to refer, which frameworks are we going to use to build the C# program, because now, as I've said, the compiling process is complex, right? It is not just one framework. We are going to target multiple frameworks. So one is the program.cs, what I've written here. The second is, you can see that there is a project.json file. So this is the project.json file. I will not go into project.json in details at this moment. We are going to have a 1-2 hours of video separately on this, but this project.json file is having all those things, saying that for this program.cs, which kind of frameworks you can use for building. So I'm saying here that use 4.5, use 5.0, and if you want, you can go and put other frameworks as well. So you need only two things. One is you need your C# code, and second, you need this JSON file which is nothing but a configuration file where you go and refer, for which program, for which framework, you are going to go and compile your C# program. So now that's what we need. We need the C# program, which is in the program.cs file, and we need the configurations, which says that which framework are you going to compile for. So now in order to compile, we need to use dnu. So this is the command line utility. So I'll say dnu, first thing, restore. Forget about the command at this moment, try to understand the fundamental. So this is dnu restore, and then I will say dnu compile. So once I say compile, dnu compile. So once I say compile, dnu build, I'm sorry, just that I like the word compile. So you can see now he's actually building for he built actually for two versions. One is he built for 4.5.1, right, and other one is he built for your 5.0 core, right? And if you see in this bin folder here at this moment, you will find that there are two sets of DLLs, one for 4.5.1 and the other one for 5.0. Great. So basically we are able to do the build. So remember, dnu to build and dnx to run. So I'm going to go and say here dnx, and I will say run, and it should actually go and run my program and show me Happy New Year 2016 and welcome .NET Core and DNX and DNU, right? So basically this is the biggest news of .NET Framework, that .NET Framework can now run on multiple platforms, and you have the ability to go and pick and choose and say that which framework to choose and which to run, right, and which to compile for. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. In this video we were trying to understand what is the big change in .NET Framework and what should we be looking at in the coming year of 2016. So if you like this video, what you have to do is go and share this video out and say that thank you DNX, so hash DNX, and thank you hash .NET Core. So with that, what will happen is the DNX team and the .NET Core team, who are in Microsoft, they will get an alert saying that yes, it's a good work and they should keep doing it. So thank you so much, and thank you very much.